Greetings, my name is Jackie Dumas, and for the next 8 minutes or so, I will share with you some artifacts that I have completed throughout my journey of growing into being a well-rounded, professional technical communications major at Arizona State University. These artifacts are indicative of the proof that I have learned, am capable of applying, and have successfully achieved all the outcomes designed for this Bachelor of Science degree. But before I begin presenting my artifacts, I want to welcome those who have taken the time to review my portfolio. Now let's take a brief look at the outcomes of the Technical Communications program so that you have a good foundational idea of how I was able to accomplish this monumental task. There are 4 outcome categories: rhetorical knowledge, critical thinking, reading and writing, processes, and knowledge of conventions. Applying rhetorical knowledge means knowing how to present information in the correct format that is focused on a purpose and that has adopted the proper voice, tone, level of formality, and technology type given the audience and variety of technologies available. Demonstrating critical thinking, reading, and writing is shown by being able to use information that has been properly researched, assessed, evaluated, analyzed, and synthesized from a variety of different but reliable sources, and then integrating that information with previously held beliefs and bias and using it all to communicate back effectively and showing how it holds a relationship with language, knowledge, and power. Showing the processes of technical communication means being able to produce artifacts that were constructed in a true collaborative effort over a series of properly managed drafts that had been revised, edited, proofread, critiqued, and filed for future use or reference. Displaying the knowledge of conventions outcome is going to be evident in the varying formats and tools, abiding by the appropriate laws and policies for technology and intellectual property, documenting work correctly, and using appropriate grammar and mechanics. These outcomes are the building blocks upon which this program was built. The 6 artifacts, the research log, annotated bibliography, journal article, peer review, poster, and brochure will all validate my achievement in all program outcomes to guide me to my graduation. My first 3 artifacts are more or less a combo deal. I wrote them for the same class, and each one expands on the prior artifact. I achieved many of the outcomes not necessarily doing any one of these artifacts individually, but as a group I was able to accomplish a lot. My first artifact is my research log and covers all 4 outcomes. It demonstrates that I use primary and secondary sources and flexible searching strategies to establish a solid basis for my topic. I also used it as a reference to create the annotated bibliography. I retrieved these sources using conventional methods such as smartly searching the internet and also utilizing the ASU library. I also scrutinized each source for relevant content. My second artifact, which also touches on all 4 outcomes, is my detailed version of the research log, the annotated bibliography, in APA style, which was big in our core classes. I used the references in the research log to formulate my effective and thorough assessment, evaluation, analysis, and synthesis of these sources. I then examined how I would use the information I gathered to learn critically think and communicate to the audience. I correlated the relationship the internet had on our life, such as our brain and behaviors relating to technology to social issues and other aspects of our lives. I also integrated my own beliefs, assumptions, and knowledge in the reflection of these sources. So both the research log and annotated bibliography all lead to my journal article, a process that in itself shows that it is a developmental product. It was written in the form of a scholarly journal entry for that level of audience, and it included proper citations for both the images and references, an ethical responsibility. I was also able to use myself as an example within the paper to make it more credible, in the understanding that my audience would need a reason to believe the contents. One very exciting and fortuitous aspect came into play when writing this paper, and that was the fact that I had another paper due in a different class later in the semester that had to be written in the same article style and same length, so I essentially used the same information and revised it slightly to fit the format and guidelines for that class. This demonstrates that I am able to properly file and store information for future use. I ensured I had proper syntax, grammar, punctuation, spelling, formatting, and tone before I turned in each assignment. In addition, I was able to abide by laws and school policies when citing works. As we continue through my outcomes, here is a paper that I critiqued for a fellow classmate of my Principle of Technical Editing class. To complete this assignment, I used the Word document review features and appropriate technology for this assignment to leave comments and track changes regarding any grammatical, logical, or mechanical type errors that I noticed. I showed through this artifact that not only are multiple drafts needed to write a document, but that teamwork and collaboration are effective tools that can be resourced. My two final artifacts also are related, but not necessarily dependent on each other. I designed the poster to focus only on the destination of Maui. It was important to understand what type of message the information on my artifact portrayed, that it said the right message, and it was organized in a coherent fashion. It also had to be simple enough to not convolute the message, but show enough to make it appealing to multiple audiences. Since it had to be disseminated to many, I created it using Microsoft Publisher and then converted it into a PDF, touching on the use of appropriate technology. This way, it could be accessed by most. The correlating brochure for Maui had multiple audiences such as singles, couples, and families to show the appeal of visiting to the destination. The amount of information had to be limited due to the room constraints, but contain enough information to elicit a positive response, while incorporating proper voice, tone, and level of formality, and still being mindful of grammar and mechanics. Multiple drafts were made and edited in Microsoft Publisher, and then again converted to a PDF once final. So those are my 6 artifacts reflecting my achievement of the program outcomes. While earning my degree has been a long journey, my time at ASU and enrollment in this program has been rather short comparatively. I have learned so much and will continue to apply all that I have learned as I continue on to a graduate school and through my career. Thank you very much for your time.